Hello, this is PG of the Play Games channel, Photography Gamer, and it's another episode of the VP Guide, and we are back in Dragon's Dogma 2. Got my little group. Now, I've had some messages and DMs and comments on photo mode videos, in particular about Dragon's Dogma 2. And
let's have a look then.
The photo mode itself, it's not the best photo mode that you will ever see, is it? I think we all know that. So friends have asked me, and people that follow me have asked me, how can I take better pictures? What can I do? How do you do it? Tips and tricks. I don't know. So in this video, what am I going to do? I'm going to just take some pictures. So, all right.
Come to think of it,
we're not just going to pause, and we're going to go into the photo mode. So obviously, as you can see, I can't move the camera. I can just rotate it. So all you've got to think really is just zoom in, zoom out. That's all you've really got. So we could do one here. Obviously, you can see she's way off center, so it's difficult. But let's do one sort of like there. So we'll try and get her sort of the eye line. You see in the line of that 2/3 at the top. That's a good place to have your eye line. First thing I do is put the blur on. Blur overall max, blur long range max. The short range depends if you've got stuff in the short range, but as you can see, what does that do? It just washes out the background a bit and gives your eye focus on the main subject. But I'd say the main subject is a bit bright. So what do we want to do? Maybe brightness down a little bit, just to give it a balance. You can use bloom for that, but the blooms are a little bit heavy, isn't it? You can see. Vignette. So like immediately it looks a little bit more settled. The vignette, you know, if you do the full thing, it's like nighttime, isn't it? But we want to probably use a little bit of it. And then I'd probably look at filters, see which one grabs my attention. That one's quite nice, but we can maybe drop it down to 0. It's okay, it's a little bit yellow. Vintage one's a bit heavy. If we cut it down a bit, if we cut it down and then go to brightness, no, it's a bit much. Sepia's quite nice. We could use a bit of sepia. And then that's just a basic example of a quick portrait. You know, it's got, I think, like colours are something you need to think about. Like the outfit, it's all quite muted browns and greens. Even the hair's not bright. Background wise, you look at the background, we've got browns and green. It's all, there's a lot of synergy between the colours in that image. So that's a nice backdrop for that image, that clothing, because it kind of feels like a mosaic, like connected almost. So we'll do a screenshot of that one and we'll come out. Okay, so another tip.
Upon my time as a mage, I can only assume I did not live up to your expectations.
Right, so we're going to take a picture.
Now that I'm a warrior, naught shall stand in our way again.
Of a pawn.
My steel will topple
How do we do
every foe in our path.
God, they do talk a lot, don't they? Okay, he's looked away from us, so we're going to tell them to wait with the commands. If you go near a wall and then do that, you can take a picture of them, but they're not looking at me, so let's try and get them to come to me. Wait, okay. Now we'll get them to wait.
You would gather materials here, master. Can we
God, they talk so much, don't they? So now, obviously, you can't see my character, so I can zoom in. I could do a picture of that, but his armour's in the way, isn't it? So let's try it from the other side.
To carry more?
We can just move up the wall a bit. Like if we want to be really pedantic, we can just say, right, we'll move her out of the background.
Pray, seize this at once, Arisen.
Okay, and we'll move the little chap out of the way. So we're just going to take a picture of David, who's a pawn of quite good repute. Right, we'll try and get him in the centre, because then obviously we can't move the camera. photo mode. Okay, so we're going to zoom in. And again, like we could try and do a nice central focus portrait. So we get the line on the eyes. Maybe move it a bit to one side, perhaps, to get a bit of that background in. It's a bit far. We go about there. So we've got a bit of background, but the thing is with backgrounds, what's important with a background is you don't want all of that in focus because it's too busy, it's too detailed. I want to look at the subject. So how do we do that? Again, we put the blur on, we choose the focus distance to get on David, and then the focus area just to cover him, and then we whack up the long and overall blur. And again, it just isolates him a bit. I don't know why that graphical thing is glitching out, but there you go. So then we look at filters. I usually look at first. So we could do this one because it looks like bright sunlight. Give it a little bit of like that. Vignette, we could probably drop a bit of a vignette in there. We could put the bloom to make it look really sunny. And then brightness just to sort of try and balance that back. What about the other filters? That's quite dreamy. Pastel, that's quite colourful, a bit too colourful. So maybe we'll go for that one. We'll take a screenshot of that. That's David. Okay. Let's get them to follow us. Let's find somewhere else. The towns are good places to take photos because there's a lot of stuff going on. Why don't we go down by the water? Let's see what we can do. Okay, this is a nice scenic environment, so hopefully let's try and get everyone. Now the difficulty of taking a group shot is they've all got to kind of be.
I heard a rumour that this land was once a kingdom of bestiaries.
Truly?
Right. Though no.
It's difficult to get them all looking in the same direction. Okay, we've done it. So we've got them there. So we'll naturally sort of just try and sit in the middle. Maybe we can move the little guy along a little bit. Okay. And then I'll sort of stand there. Try and get in the right position. See, it's not center, so we're going to have a problem. Like, we go into the photo mode. You see what I mean? Like, you can't quite get them all framed in. Like, you can get 3, and then he's not in it, is he? Again, this is the tricky part. So we just get them to wait. We could always move. Let's take, what's her name? Violent. Let's put her here. And we'll stand next to her. And we'll try and, how are we going to do this? We'll try and do a little portrait with the two of us. And she's changed position. That's annoying, isn't it? Okay. So we just want to wait for them both to be looking forward. Like that. Enter the photo mode. And obviously we're way too far away. We'll go right in. We could do eye line, so we could probably get them in like that. So that's as far as we can zoom. I don't know, this is the problem we've got with these sort of photo modes. There's a lot of trial and error, but...
I see you cannot manage without me for a moment, Arisen.
I think with the water it's a bit complicated, so let's go down to the beach where there's a bit more space. Okay, alright, let's try the shot with these two. Can we do that? One thing you've also got to think about really is lighting. Because obviously once the light changes position, you're limited in what you've got. Like, we're losing the light now, aren't we? Like, that's a nice vista. Like, for example, if you wanted to take that as a picture. But the problem is, already, you're losing a lot of the image because we can't move it. Okay, we're going to go back high.
At least I have my life. That's something.
I think the best advice I can give you about this photo mode is you just need to try things, and if it isn't working, do you know what? You just let it go, because it's quite easy to just get fed up doing these pictures and not even bother. But you can take nice pictures in it. You just need to sort of stick with it. Alright, the lighting here is nice, so come on, come over here.
If you wish it, I shall not move from this spot.
See, what you've got to look at is where is your subjects. They're not in the middle of the frame, are they? But I can't change that, so you need to try and find a position where you're both in the middle. Like, now she's moved. That's just marvellous, isn't it? Oh my goodness, this is annoying. You can already see why these people are getting put off by doing photos in this game, because it's just incredibly irritating. So you can do those little emoji order things and get a picture. So like that's like an example. So I've done one where my character's pointing, but again, if I go close in, we miss all the others. And see, the problem with that shot is, you see at the top of the image, that's dead space. Like really what you want is the eye line to be 2/3 up, because then it settles a nice balance in the image. But we can't do that with this photo mode, so we've got to kind of try and find an angle. Like that one's, it's not ideal, is it really? But it'll, you know, you could probably do that. Why don't we, let's get an ox cart out of here.
Might I ask where you are headed this day?
Where does this go? Yeah, so when you're out in the field, it's kind of good because the light's always changing and the environment's always changing. So we're gonna get an ox cart. I think this one goes to the checkpoint town. So let's get this, and we'll go. Checkpoint town's got some.
Ox cart's bound for the. I'll not take you anywhere till I've had my due.
Okay. I mean, even here, if you wanted to take a picture, you see what I mean? You zoom in. It's crap framing, isn't it? Because you can't change the camera. So there's some instances in this game where you just cannot take pictures and you just have to say, okay, sod it. Anyway, let's go to the other town and try and do some portraits, see if we can actually, or maybe we did try and do some action shots, because I think the action shots are quite good. Right, let's go.
I can't wait to find out what's inside.
That could be an action shot, couldn't it? See, again, if I could like move the camera, that would help. Oh well. Anyway, let's go for a wander. I believe there might be a dragon down here, isn't there? Let's have a look. So it's beautiful scenery. So like, I mean, let's say you want to take a picture of the scenery. Just calm down, everybody.
I shall remain here till you give the word.
If you stand near a wall, you need to stand near a flat wall in order to
There
get...
are one or two places of interest nearby.
There you go.
I could tell you more.
So if you wanted to just take sort of scenic shots of the environments, you could do so. Like, for example, just that. As you can see, it's got a vignette. You can turn the vignette off, but the vignette kind of frames it. And then you just choose filters. You can make it look like a nighttime shot with the blue, maybe. Or you can take the blue off, have yellow, have vintage. So if you want to take environmental photos, that's how you do it. It's stand near a wall.
About them, if you like.
Like
master.
that. And then move the camera to look at yourself. But anyway, let's get some action going.
To arms!
Let's get rid of a few of these. Okay, so we're jumping mid-air with an arrow. not the best shot. Action shots are things that you really just need to keep trying, because 9 times out of 10, when you pause the game during an action set piece, it isn't going to work.
Be able to move it if we combine our efforts.
Shall we set it rolling?
Right, let's get into this. Try and get a shot of the arrow. So with combat, I would say this is where inclination could be used. You know, you can use the inclination to good effect. Again, the problem we have with with anything in this game the fact that we can't move the camera at all just kind of makes impossibilities of these shots, because you know the framing is just way off. So
no sense letting the enemy gain the upper hand. Early Griffin.
So we're going to try a few different options here. That's a weird one.
It's the worm, as they say.
Taking pictures of your allies doing stuff in these sort of combat situations is not easy either.
You have my protection.
Unless you're near walls.
Keep hold of the enemy.
Splendid.
Okay, where are my teams? Stay there. Try and do a team shot if we can. It's not ideal, but like if you were going to do a team shot, that's not great. Let's just cut one of them out. So it's a team shot with 3 of them. Focus on. We want to get all the team in focus, so we'll blur the long range and the overall, and the focus distance is right, and then the focused area, move it until David's in focus, and then we decide on filters. We'll go for the yellow, drop it down, vignette, we'll use a little vignette, bit of bloomage, and then it's really the brightness, how bright you want it. So that's done, and then that's just a shot of 3 of you. You could do one like that, you know. Once you've set the shot up, you can always do another one if you want to, but we'll leave that one there. Right, I think we'll explore down here a bit and see if there's some different angles, but if you want to take pictures of individual pawns, you need to find a wall.
I can hardly keep you in my sights, Arisen.
Let us endeavour to keep up.
Should have turned the voices
though
off
we are
for
less
this
fleet
mode.
of foot.
So if it gets to night time, don't be afraid of photos at night time can often be better than daytime because you've got the lanterns, and the lanterns have got really nice soft light. So, all right.
A ballista is a ranged weapon.
Tis a glad thing we happened upon this.
Oh no.
Unleashing it during combat ought to fluster our foes.
Note to self, next time I play photo mode in Dragon's Dogma, turn off the voices because my god. Death spiders. So this is quite an open area. So that's, anytime there's effects or stuff like that, that's always a good time to see if you can get a shot. Like that could work because the colour, it would work better if I was actually doing a shot. But I missed the moment. Missed the moment. Anyway, so we're going to try and take a group photograph, which is incredibly difficult because you've got to get them all lined up in a way that actually works. How do we get up here? Sod it. Right, let's go over here and this is a good spot. We're on a little raised bit so we can get some nice background. We just need all the characters to come over here. No, you're not coming over? Okay. The joys of photo modes in Dragon's Dogma. Here we are. Go on. Yes, there you go.
Very well.
So that's what you want. You want all 3 of them, like a little family photo. And then you've got to find the position for you that's going to work with it. So what you're trying to do is visually get everyone in a sort of square place. See, that's not central, is it? This is, I mean, look at this already. Chaos. Right, those two are good. Sorry, mate, you're out of the shot. You can be the fluffer. Right. Okay, so we need to get in a position where we can get them all in the centre. As you can see, they're not in the centre. It's impossible to get them in the centre. So this is annoying. This is why people don't use the photo mode. Capcom, sort it out. Anyway, because if I zoom in, really what we need to do is be able to move them, but we can't. Anyway, we're going to do one from this angle. Cut down low, maybe. So first things first, we need to get rid of the details on the background a bit, and the short range stuff we can blur out. Focus area, like that. Distance, that's fine. Find the right filter. Nice colourful one. Go for some bit of blooming. See, that's very over-coloured, so we could drop it a bit. And that's one where you could do, if you wanted to put the logo on, for example, bang, put the logo in the top, or in the bottom, if you wanted to. Take a screenshot of that. Right, we're going to try and finish with some individual portraits, but we're going to try and get some indoor stuff. So we need to find a cave, which I believe there's one up here. Indoors easier to take pictures of individual pawns or the group because you've got a lot of walls. It's very tight space, and that's really, if you want to take portraits, that's where you should be doing it. Because out in the field, as you can see from what we've just done, it's incredibly problematic.
Must we come here again?
I will protect you.
Let's just vanquish these. Maybe we can get an action shot. That's... Can we find an angle? That's good. So we've got... Trying to get all three of them in. Chaos, isn't it? But again, that's too much... There's too much detail there. So we probably need to... Again, it's trying to find a position. Let's just focus on David's character, shall we? So we'll put depth of field on and the blur. And then we need to focus it on David. So we need to get the focus distance on him. And the range. We could go blue. Bit of bloom. Bit of vignette on it. Darkness. Well, the yellow's quite nice. So if you take the blooming off, big difference, but we'll keep the bloom on. If you take the vignette off, a bit too bright. So that's kind of chaotic action. What we want to do
Not a bad idea.
Right, we need to...
Not good enough!
So can we do a shot of the arrow? So again, when you're using bow, you could probably use the angled shots, but again, you're limited by the camera movement, because look, you know, what can we do? Right, anyway, let's kill these and then we'll finish up with a few portraits and then we'll leave it there for today. Okay, so let's say I want to take a picture of my character. Stand near a wall like that, look at the wall, and then bang, my character's right in the middle.
Am I expected to pick that up? if I must.
And there you go. So she's in the centre. Now we're going to go right in, get the eye line to the 2/3. So it's got a nice sort of natural feel in terms of like spacing. Blur the background, because we blur the background so that we can focus on the subject matter. Blooming a little. We can put a lot of vignette on this because she's central, and a vignette blurs, shadows the border. A bit of brightness perhaps, and then we look for filters. Try and find one that we think is going to work. That's, if we trim, that's quite intense. We could take a shot of that. And then the other filters, if we wanted black and white. So if we're doing black and white, we could put more vignette on there. And then a bit more blooming maybe. Go for a nice soft black and white. Pastel. Dark. Take another one. Again, that's how you take pictures if you just want to do that with one of the characters. If you want to get them all, this sort of situation might work. So we've got to be very slow. Come on. Can we get them all in one? Oh, almost. But obviously we've got to watch out for the stairs. So that's quite nice. We'll finish with this one. That's a nice group portrait, isn't it? Blur. We will blur the background, but we don't want them blurred, do we? So we do focus area until they're all in focus. So there they are. They're all in focus. Bit of bloom. Find a filter we like. That's nice, isn't it? A bit less. We could vignette it a bit. But it's a bit dark on Zara's face, the lead pawn, so we need to bump that up. A bit more vignetting to balance the brightness. We could even do the vignette a bit more. And then if you put the vintage one right up, so the filter, you can even put the logo in there up the top if you wanted. That's a nice group shot. And then you can always recompose it as an individual shot if you wanted. You just have to find the right framing, but again it's kind of difficult to get that framing. Let's try one more and then we'll call it. Okay, so we try it here. Stay there everybody, stay.
If you wish it, I shall not move from this spot.
Can I get in there? Can, but it's not going to work, is it? Try one of them all moving. That one's alright, isn't it? It's like a sort of action shot of the whole group. And again, we'll blur the background out a little bit, but we'll make sure everyone's in focus. And then we put a bit of bloom on there to give it softness, a bit of brightness to bump it. Find a filter we like. What do we want? We could try that one, that's quite nice. A bit of vignetting. Maybe the blooming's too much. We could do that. So that's a nice group shot. Okay, so get them to wait. That's pretty much the photo mode. How I take pictures. If I set up 10 photos, I probably take 2 of them because there's so. Oh, hello. So there's probably quite a few that don't work. But what you've got to do, keep trying, keep plugging away, and you'll get there in the end. I've just been ambushed. But yeah, that's the VP guide. I hope that was helpful in terms of like doing stuff for Dragon's Dogma. If you've got questions or anything you'd need to know about Dragon's Dogma's photo mode, ask me and I'll see what I can do. But until then, I hope the tips and the little bits of like examples I've shown you today have made it easier for you. And next time, I will turn the voices off the characters because they're a bit annoying when I'm trying to talk. Anyway, this is PG for the Play Games channel and the VP guide. Yeah, see you next time. Cheers.